Hello there, this is the Critical Advocate, and today we will be reviewing Severance. It's a very ominous kind of a show which caught my attention online. I saw that everyone was talking about Severance, and then I found out that it is directed by Ben Stiller. That's even better. I mean, I love his movie called Tropic Thunder, basically a film about the ridiculous lengths that actors are willing to go in order to get themselves into a role. And it's a hilarious fun time. If you haven't seen it yet, I recommend that you watch it because it's one of the best comedies of all time. Trust me, I'm doing you a service. Severance is currently streaming on Apple TV and it has 9 episodes for the first season, and it kind of has a mix of a bunch of genres. Sci-fi, dark comedy, and some horror elements at play as well. So what is Severance about? Well, to even begin to describe what it is about really ties my tongue into a knot. Because you certainly want to avoid spoilers, but you also want to sell the show to someone. Hey man, go watch the show, it's amazing. Hey, but what is it about? And you're like, give me a second to explain that bit. As spoiler free as I can. The show centers around the concept of severance. Severance is a surgical procedure that this mysterious mega corporation called Lumen undergoes on its employees before they join. If you want to be part of the severed floor of Lumen, you need to undergo this surgical procedure designed to split your consciousness into 2 parts. Imagine that you are working for the intelligence agency and you do some nasty shit at work, but when you go home, you're not allowed to tell your wife or your kids what daddy has been up to at work. The difference though is in the fact that you are still able to tell them what happens at work, but you choose not to. Maybe you're contractually obligated, or because of national security reasons, that's treason, whichever it may be. You can tell them, but you choose not to. That is not the case when you undergo the severance procedure. After you leave the office, you have no recollection of what you did, who you met, who you even know there, what the place looks like, how many dumps you had in there, because that's all out the window. Once you stand in that elevator and you go down the elevator, you forget everything. Your memory is wiped. You don't recall anything that happened in there as you go back to your daily life. The same thing applies when you're inside the office. You don't know who you are on the outside of the office. You could be different people. You could be seeing 2 different people. You could be polar opposites of one another. You might be the happiest person inside the office, but you might be miserable outside the office. That's a freaky kind of dichotomy, which creates a lot of drama. And that drama pays off because it's hella cool. The show has some nice terminology thrown here and there. Your inside the office self, also referred to in the show as the innie, and outside the office self, also in the show referred to as the outie. The innie and the outie essentially live separate lives, unaware of each other's conscious experiences, although they both are trapped inside the vessel, the brain. I mean, it's an interesting thought, to be honest. Would you sign away a part of yourself, a part of your consciousness to a corporation? Because corporations really do take care of their own, don't they? They pay them well. You should apply to a corporation now and get a job there, and they will take care of you. And you don't even have to stay from 9 to 5. You just show up and they'll be like, oh no, we'll take care of everything else. You just go home. You just go home, have fun at home. You have kids? You have kids, play with your kids. Just play with your kids. We don't need you here. Honestly, why are we here? We don't even need to be there. It's just a grey building. Who am I kidding? Corporations are essentially designed to make profit, to make money. So that's what they'll do. If they have an asset, they will make sure that they will use that asset to their advantage. I'll be very honest. Initially, when I read the show's premise, it sounded really gimmicky to me. And I honestly was concerned as the show went on about the quality of the show and how the storytelling is gonna maybe falter and start showing cracks. But I'm very happy to say that the show really takes care of its storytelling, and I love that about the show. It really does take time with its characters. It sets up intrigue in such a beautiful way, in a very natural way. You are following these characters on their journeys. Through dialogue, you have hints of what's going on behind the scenes in this office, because the office does look creepy. I mean, it has very monotone kind of colors, very flat colors like a green and a white and a black. And however, the cinematography in this show, it kind of captures everything in such a beautiful way that you don't even notice the bland colors in the background, because the characters just pop out so well. The shots are so beautifully placed, and the scenes just flow very beautifully. The soundtrack is amazing. Even the intro is hella trippy. I mean, just check this out. It's kind of amazing, isn't it? Like, I love it. Kind of enjoy this trippy shit. Give me some more. The protagonist here, Mark, played by Adam Scott, is one of the people that undergoes this procedure in the show in order to escape a tragic event in his life. I don't want to spoil what the tragic event is, because you need to watch the show to find out. At the start of the show, we learn that Mark has been promoted as the head of the microdata refinery team, replacing his best friend, PT, who surprisingly and mysteriously just disappeared. The company, of course, tells Mark that PT just resigned and just moved away, but Mark is not really satisfied by that answer. Let me just add that Adam Scott is amazing in this show. I've seen him in movies here and there, and whenever he's there, he just gives a solid performance. I have no complaints whatsoever about him. However, this show really brings out the best in him, because he's kind of playing into that duality of living his normal life and then being in the office. And these are two different characters that you encounter. And he does a really good job with that. He's just so good at playing Mark, this flawed but a good man at heart, trying to get by in life, and as a coping mechanism, he thinks that it's best for him to sign up for the Severance program and work for Lumen. Do we need to judge him? I don't think we should judge people for doing some things in desperation, because grief is a very tricky process. Then there is Helly, played by Britt Lower, who does an amazing job. The show kind of opens with Helly arriving at Lumen for the first time, and it's like when you're watching her, you see that confusion, you see that information overload on her face as she's trying to process the fact that she did not exist up until the severance procedure and arriving at Lumen. Britt Lower is wonderful at playing Helly. She's my favorite character in the show. And because she's just a pure badass. She knows what she wants. She wants out of this place, and that's how she becomes this catalyst in the show to kind of start questioning the order of things around Lumen, as opposed to this being just an ordinary day at work. And why wouldn't you question the things that are happening in the show? Because the company is kind of creepy. It has that Courage the Cowardly Dog's la 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 thing going on, which I absolutely love. The other two members of the microdata refinery team, Dylan, played by Zach Cherry, he's this cocky, smart, obsessed with company perks guy who is always like has a potty mouth. He cusses just for no apparent reason, which makes him hilarious to watch. John Turturro, Carmine Falcone from the recent Robert Pattinson Batman. Yeah, he's also in it, and he plays this character called Irving. He's very indoctrinated. He knows everything, the company policy, the company manual. He just knows that all by heart. It's like Bible or something. He's kind of that loony guy. They're both really charming characters who you would instantly fall in love with. The antagonist of the show, Harmony Cobell, played by Patricia Arquette, is masterful at playing the stone-cold, zero shits given boss who is obsessed with working the innies to the bone and achieving company targets. There is this look that she does where she just stares like this into your soul, and you're left wondering, did I do something wrong? I did something wrong. Tremel Tillman as Seth Milchick is also so damn good. He is the supervisor on the severed floor and Cobell's right-hand man. He is very charismatic, but also very creepy, with that smile, man. Like that smile 24/7. He has that smile. And don't tell me it's not creepy. I mean, look at this thing. Like behind those eyes, there must be something dark. Truly. And he proves it. He kind of proves it in this episode called Defiant Jazz. I don't want to spoil much for you about what happens in that episode, but you need to know that this guy gets under your skin. He gets really under your skin. He is very slappable. He's very slappable in this episode, and you're just watching him and you can't help but clap. Job well done. You made me want to slap you. Job well done, buddy. Touché. In that scene, he is psychotic. He feels nothing for the people that he supervises. But he's having fun though. There's also Christopher Walken in this as Bert. He's one of the most lovable characters that you want to just take him and like hold him like this and be like, you stay safe. I'll protect you from everyone else. You just stand behind me. This guy needs to be protected, okay? Because he's kind and caring and like he's such a sweet person. The other cast members in this show are also really damn good. Like Mark's ride or die sister, who would do anything for Mark, and she's his rock. She's there to support him no matter what. And her husband, which is Mark's brother-in-law, he's also a very interesting character. And like he is a writer who writes these self-help or motivational books, and he is played off as comic relief in the show, but I don't want to spoil anything, but he plays a very integral part in the show in an unexpected way, and you're like, well done show, well done. The show really juggles between how technology is taking over our lives. The news with the Neuralink and stuff, I mean, this technology is kind of here, but it's not doing what it does in the show. But who knows, we might get to that point at a certain time. And I fear that day. I really do. In one sentence, how I would describe the show is, I read somewhere that it seems like a stretched Black Mirror episode. Not only that, it's a mind-bending thriller with occasional comedy, charming characters, and masterful storytelling. Every episode is so good, it just ramps up the tension and then reveals something new. And then it kind of transitions into another episode where it builds up the tension, reveals something new, very shocking, and then transitions into another episode. Perhaps episode 1 was the only episode of all these episodes which kind of was slow. It was a slow burn because naturally they want to make you acquainted with their world, with the rules of the world, how everything is structured, how everything is placed, and how these people are in general. You need to get to know them close in order to get to the thriller ride that happens in the subsequent episodes. The last episode of this show had me dying of anticipation, but it ends in such a spectacular way where you are satisfied with what you've got, but you still want so much more, and this show delivers on those fronts with perfection. The main question remains, is this show guilty? No, it's not. Not guilty. This show is not guilty at all because it delivers on every single thing that it has promised. The trailers don't do justice to how crazy this show is. I would really recommend that you spread the word about this show. I hear it's renewed for the second season and I'm looking forward to where it goes next. So the final verdict for Severance is a solid not guilty with a perfect score of 10 out of 10. It really is that good, guys. You should go and watch it, and you should go and watch it now. This wraps up our case. This is the Critical Advocate. I'm here to advocate for you, the people, the film lovers, the moviegoers, the people who like to analyze film and be enthralled by it. Till next time, the Svidanya, Khudafiz, and bye-bye.
Uh-oh.